Historic interest rates. I can't emphasize enough that low interest rates are the single most important reason to purchase commercial real estate today if the real estate makes sense. I refinanced my restaurant in 1982 at about 17%. I caught the peak perfectly. And closed the restaurant 10 years later. And just servicing that debt. Can you imagine servicing debt today at 15%? Can't do it. Just can't even fathom it. But I can tell you, I don't believe interest rates are going any lower. There's all the pressure going to be on upside in interest rates, and they play a huge part in commercial real estate. If it makes sense, you should be borrowing money for as long as you can. Where are we in the cycle? Cycle is different for every product type. We're currently in a contraction phase. We can see on number 3, we were at the bottom of the last big economic recession back in 1985. Started coming out of that in Oklahoma in 1991. Had a lot of expansion in 2000 up through our peak in 2007. If we could all look back and say, if I owned it, I should have sold it 2 years ago, you'd be correct. But that, you just don't have the hindsight whenever you're looking at everything that was going on in the market at that time. I guess one of the biggest unknowns here is how long is this cycle going to be of contraction. If we're at item number 10, or mark number 10 here, how long is it going to take us to get back around where we're starting to go up again? And I don't think it's going to be anything like that time period that we saw from 1985 to 2000 and to the year 2000. I think it'll be much shorter than that. I think we're just poised. Too many good things are going on for our economy locally. So, I don't know that it's as dramatic as what's displayed here, but certainly it's always big decisions whenever you're looking at commercial real estate and making big investments and trying to find the right timing. Either in investment real estate, is anything selling? Basically, no. Any of the larger buildings, larger properties, they're not selling, especially in the investment real estate. We'll talk about that in a minute. Financing, there's plenty of financing available in our market for owner-occupied properties. If you are leasing and want to buy your own office building or your own retail space, now's a great time to do it. And there are some, not bargains out there, but certainly things that make economic sense. And given the interest rate, it's a perfect timing to do it. If you're leasing, you're also in the commercial real estate business. We'll talk in a few minutes about some of the mistakes you can make with leasing commercial real estate. The next couple of slides talk about investment real estate. Got Donald up there, he said the best hedge against inflation is real estate. Best hedge against inflation is real estate. And I believe that. Real estate has a history and tradition of going up. What this slide shows is if I own an income property, there's a thumbnail gauge of the value of that property based on net operating income. So let's assume that this property has rental income of $400,000 a year. I'm going to spend $300,000 a year on expenses. That's going to leave me with a net operating income of $100,000. I've not calculated in my loan here. It's assuming it's all cash. But if I sell that at a 10% capitalization rate, then my sales price is going to be $1 million. The point I'm trying to make here is that in 2007, our capitalization rates were 7 to 7.5% here in Oklahoma City. In California, those capitalization rates were 5.5%, and 6%, and 6.25%. They were really spiraling up, and we would get several groups of folks in from California on through the week, several a week, and they were buying a lot of property here. In 2008, well, at the end of 2007, when we had the financial collapse, that certainly stopped. In 2008, capitalization rates in Oklahoma City were in the 8 to 8.5% range, and today, capitalization rates here are 8.5 to 9%. Let me tell you why that has happened. It's happened because there's no demand to buy the product. There's no demand out there for people to spend their money. When we went back and looked at that graph that showed all the money in the system, that money's on the sideline. Most all of that money's on the sideline and it's not being spent. This office building that I am talking about with $100,000 in net operating income had a 2007 value based on that 7.5 cap rate at the time of $1.3 million. Cap rate drop, less demand. 2008, that was $1.1 million, and today, in today's market, you might find a buyer for it at $1,050,000. The problem is, our sellers aren't giving into the fact that there's this gap now between the buyers and the sellers. The buyer has really no reason to buy unless he wants to use it himself, or he sold something, needs to trade into the property. So I think that a lot of this property is just going to sit and wait for something different to happen. That something different is either going to be, yes, I give in, and I'm going to sell it for less, or something different is going to happen with the market that we just don't know. So now we're talking about buy, sell, or hold. You have to know, where are you in the cycle? Where are we in the market cycle? We know we're in a contracting phase of the real estate market. What are interest rates? I can't tell you enough time. If it makes sense, this is a tremendous opportunity to buy real estate, because these rates they're not going to be here very long, and we may not see them again for a long time. Is financing available? There's a lot of money out there to be placed. Interest rates are still good. If the deal makes sense, we can find money. What is supply and demand? We've talked about that. And who is helping me with this decision? A lot of good folks out there that have the ability to help you with commercial real estate decisions.